In Chapter 1, Iris surprised her best friend Crocus by signing them both up for a tooth hunt put on by their competition, the Forest Song Clan. Chapter 2. Let the Hunt Begin. Crocus took in the other tooth seekers, all younglings like herself, whispering and fidgeting in the fairy circle. The circle was bounded by a ring of slender, silver-barked trees with long, trailing leaves that swayed in unison. Each branch was dotted with bright magenta puffball flowers, being tended by some of the smaller fairy world bees. The scent of nectar filled the air. 9 pairs of youngling seekers had gathered for the tooth hunt. The hunt leaders, Narcissus and Lilac Forest Song, along with Crocus and Iris, brought the number of fairies in the circle to 22. They were a colorful group with skin tones of blue, pink, yellow, purple, and green. Crocus noticed that one was a rare dragonfly wing fairy, although all the rest had the more common butterfly or moth wings. "Ah," said Narcissus, "our Silverleaf clan players have arrived." At this, someone said, "Silverleafs?" And in a rustle of wings and whispers, the Forest Song seekers turned to stare at the newcomers. Lilac Forest Song stepped forward, frowning. "Quiet, all of you. You should be listening to Head Instructor Narcissus, not talking. She will explain everything you need to know." Narcissus turned her head toward Lilac with a raised eyebrow. Lilac's lavender face pinkened, and she stepped back, looking down. Turning to the group, Narcissus said, "It is unusual to have another clan join our game, but a little competition between clans can be just the thing to encourage you all to do better." "We'd like to thank you," Crocus started. "Speak up when addressing your top retriever," Lilac interrupted. She glanced over at Narcissus for approval. Narcissus gave a tight smile and then turned her attention back to the newcomers. Crocus bit her lip and was about to speak again when Iris stepped forward. "Thank you for inviting us to your game. It is an honor." "Yes, it is an honor, and bold of you to try your skills against our Forest Song seekers, as I'm sure you will soon realize. But," she smiled as she addressed the group, "we will all be playing as equals today, She let her eyes travel around the fairy circle. Wide-eyed, the Forest Song teams nodded. "We will show no preference to any particular clan today. Forest Song may be the Queen's clan, and some of you may think that means we are the most important clan. But in today's hunt, you are all seekers. Who knows? Maybe someday there'll be a Silverleaf Queen, and then there'll be the Queen's clan." She gazed directly at Iris and Crocus with a cold smile that did not reach her eyes. "Anything is possible, no matter how unlikely." Turning back to the gathered group, Narcissus continued. "These 2 Silverleaf younglings want to show us what they can do. Today they will get their chance." Narcissus took a deep breath and sighed. Then, with a quick glance at Lilac, she swung her arm to the left. "Here are the 10 teeth you will be hunting. Each team of 2 will have 1 minute to memorize their tooth's magic. You must be able to follow its magical trail once we've hidden it and find the tooth. Then you will bring it to us and be counted. You may go now to your tooth and memorize it." The fairy teams hurried to gather around their assigned tooth, learning its unique magical feel. "Got it?" Iris asked, looking down at their tooth. Like the other team's teeth, Crocus and Iris's tooth sat on the back of a large blue snail who smiled up at them. "Easy beasy," Crocus said, patting the snail. "I'd know it anywhere." "Good, me too, probably," Iris grinned. "Time's up." Lilac's voice was sharp in the quiet glen. "Narcissus and I will now hide the teeth. You may start your hunting in 1 hour and not before." Lilac and Narcissus gathered the teeth and flew out of sight. Most of the Forest Song's flew out of the circle right away, but the dragonfly-winged fairy and her partner lingered, talking in hushed tones. Iris grabbed Crocus's arm, tugging her toward the two forest song fairies. "Hi, I'm Iris, and this is Crocus." The pale green fairy with the dragonfly wings said, "My name is Florian, and she is Calyx." She indicated her yellow partner with rather plain tan and brown butterfly wings and gown. The little group stood, glancing at each other, feet shuffling, until Iris broke the silence. "Have you been on a lot of tooth hunts before?" "This is our 6th, said Calyx. "Retriever Narcissus says it's good training for us. Sometimes when you go to retrieve, the tooth is not under the pillow, you have to find it wherever it is." "Yeah," said Florian. "It could be under the covers, on the floor, on the bedside table, behind the mattress, clasped in the human's hand." She ticked them off on her fingers as she listed the possible locations. "And other places. We'll learn all of them when we're in retrieval school." Calyx nodded. "The tooth hunts are hard. We only find the teeth about half the time." "Half the time?" Crocus asked. Florian buzzed her dragonfly wings. "They hide them well. It might be under a rock or leaves or in a bird nest or—" Calyx reached over and placed a finger on Florian's mouth to stop her speaking. "We're not trying to scare you off. Even if you don't find the tooth, you'll still get chosen for retrieval school. You just have to show up at the selection ceremony, and you're basically in. Well, at least that's true for forest songs." Her voice trailed off. I don't know about silverleafs," she said, glancing over at Florian. Florian reached up and removed Calyx's finger from her lips. You just have to show some ability. It doesn't matter so much about the clan. I mean, every clan needs retrievers, right? I'm sure you two will do just fine." Florian shrugged. "If not this year, the next." "Good luck," Calyx called as the two buzzed off. A wide-eyed Iris watched the two forest song fairies depart. "If not this year, then next? And they'll take any forest song who shows up for the selection ceremony? How come the forest songs control so much of retrieval school? They're the head teachers. They're on the selection committee. Is it just because they're Queen's clan? This is totally not fair." She stood rigid for a moment, then relaxed her clenched fists. Her shoulders slumped and her wings drooped. "You were right. They were never going to let us win."
Next time, Chapter 3, Now with Superpowers. If you are enjoying this story, please subscribe, and you can get future chapters delivered to your inbox.